Hello everyone, welcome to Life Tales, where we share lessons from Stoic philosophy and help you apply them to modern life. In today's video, we'll explore one of the most important arts in life, the art of positive communication through Stoic philosophy. The goal of this video is to help you learn how to communicate with respect, patience, and composure, reducing conflicts and building more sustainable relationships. Stoic philosophy is not just about enduring or suppressing emotions. It teaches us how to think and behave in ways that don't harm ourselves or others. This is especially significant in communication. We will cover the fundamental principles and practical ways to communicate according to Stoic philosophy, from listening, choosing words carefully, to handling conflicts and building trust. Let's begin this journey of exploring and cultivating the Stoic art of communication. Part 1. Principles of communication in Stoic philosophy. 1. Core values of Stoic communication. In Stoic philosophy, three main values are emphasized in communication: respect and empathy. Every individual has their own value, and Stoicism teaches that we are all interconnected. Respecting others is a way of respecting ourselves. Patience and self-control. Stoicism values composure and not letting emotions govern speech. Sometimes silence is the wisest choice. Focus on what you can control. Don't try to change others or force them to agree. Instead, take charge of your thoughts and actions. For example, Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "If someone speaks ill of or mocks you, remember that this is only their opinion. Only you have the power to decide how you respond." This reminds us that it is not always necessary to react to everything others say or do. 2. The power of silence in Stoicism. Stoicism believes that silence is not weakness or acceptance of wrong, but a way to think before acting. Silence provides us with the opportunity to control our thoughts and reactions. Story of Epictetus. When asked how to respond to criticism, Epictetus simply smiled and said nothing, showing that sometimes silence is the best response. Practical exercise. When you hear something that angers you, try pausing for a few seconds before responding. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, will this reaction help me? This approach will make you calmer and prevent thoughtless words. 3. Inner dialogue. Stoicism encourages listening to oneself before speaking. When facing a difficult conversation, engage in a short inner dialogue. How to speak mindfully. Ask yourself, is this statement necessary? Or can I express this in a way that does not hurt others? Practical exercise. Pause briefly before each response to listen to your inner thoughts. This helps you control your words and maintain composure. Part 2. Positive communication techniques. 1. Active listening. Listening is not just about staying silent while someone else speaks, but genuinely focusing on what they are sharing. In Stoicism, listening with an open and non-judgmental mind is the foundation of positive communication. Epictetus once said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen more and talk less." This reminds us that listening is sometimes more valuable than speaking. Practice technique. When speaking with someone, avoid interrupting until they have finished their thoughts. Focus on their words rather than thinking about your response. Respond by summarizing what they said to ensure you understand correctly. 2. Using words mindfully. In Stoicism, our speech should be controlled and purposeful. Carefully chosen words help avoid unnecessary conflicts and misunderstandings. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Before speaking, ask yourself if it is necessary and true." Practical exercise. Before speaking, take a few seconds to ask yourself if your words might be misunderstood. Practice using positive words and avoid direct criticism or negative implications. 3. Choosing the right timing and manner of speaking. Another Stoic principle is choosing the appropriate timing and way of speaking. Not everything needs to be said immediately, especially when emotions are high. Seneca once said, "Anger makes us say things we might regret later." During stressful moments, pause and choose to remain calm. Practical exercise. When you feel angry, step back and remind yourself, I can control my response. Focus on expressing yourself positively instead of reacting emotionally. 4th, admitting mistakes and learning from them. In Stoicism, admitting mistakes is not a sign of weakness, but of confidence and wisdom. Stoics believe that a mistake does not define your character. Admitting faults helps build trust and strengthen relationships. Example from Seneca. Seneca, a famous Stoic philosopher, publicly admitted when he hurt a friend with a thoughtless comment. He not only apologized but learned from the experience, demonstrating the dignity of a philosopher. Practice technique. When you realize you've said or done something wrong, acknowledge it immediately. Don't make excuses, take responsibility. Exercise. Whenever you catch yourself saying something incorrect, jot it down in a notebook for reflection and learning. 5. Be patient with other people's emotions. One of the important principles of Stoicism is not to be quick to judge other people's emotions. This helps create understanding and respect in communication. Stoicism teaches that everyone has their own perspective and reasons for their actions. Advice from Marcus Aurelius. He recommends that when you encounter someone who is angry or difficult, ask yourself, what might they have gone through that made them act that way? Practical techniques. Try listening without judgment when someone shares negative emotions. Focus on understanding and empathizing instead of responding immediately. Exercise. When someone expresses anger, step back and ask yourself, can I help them release their anger instead of escalating the situation? 6. Develop composure in the face of criticism. Stoicism teaches that criticism does not define your worth. Epictetus emphasized that your worth does not depend on the opinions of others. Calmness helps us listen objectively and realize that everyone has a different perspective. Practice exercise. When you receive criticism, practice pausing and evaluating whether there is anything you can learn from the comment. If you feel uncomfortable, write down why and ask yourself, is this criticism really true? Is it helpful to me? Section 3. Application of Stoicism in daily communication. 1. Communication at work. In the workplace, communication plays a vital role. A Stoic never allows personal emotions to interfere with collective work. They remain calm, cooperative, and capable of putting themselves in others' shoes. Example of Marcus Aurelius. As an emperor, Marcus Aurelius always treated those around him with fairness and respect. He valued others' opinions and encouraged dialogue, making everyone feel appreciated. Practice technique. When disagreements arise with colleagues, try listening and respecting their views instead of immediately opposing. Exercise. Before speaking in meetings, take time to think and jot down your points to ensure that what you say contributes positively to the group. 2. Communication within the family. The family is where we often show our truest emotions, but it's also where conflicts can easily occur. Stoicism emphasizes that family is an ideal space to practice patience, respect, and compassion. Lesson from Seneca. Seneca advised that we should be patient and avoid letting negative emotions dominate family interactions. He believed that family ties are an essential component of happiness. Practice technique. Instead of getting angry when family conflicts arise, try to understand their perspective and ask yourself, how can I say this in the most gentle way? Exercise. Whenever you feel anger rising, focus on your breath. Take a moment to breathe deeply and calm yourself. 3. Dealing with difficult people. Stoicism teaches that difficult individuals are valuable lessons for self-cultivation. They may not change, but how we perceive them can. Epictetus reminded us that we cannot control others' behavior. We can only control our own reactions. Story about Epictetus. Once, when faced with an insulting person, Epictetus simply smiled and did not react, demonstrating mastery over himself without letting emotions take charge. Practice technique. When encountering a difficult person, remind yourself that your reaction is your own choice. Exercise. In challenging situations, try focusing on positive aspects or finding ways to improve the situation instead of engaging in confrontation. 4. Communicating with sincerity and gratitude. According to Stoic philosophy, sincerity and gratitude not only strengthen relationships, but also help us live more fully. Marcus Aurelius reminded us to appreciate the small things in life and express gratitude. Practical example. Every day, take a few moments to reflect on what you are grateful for, even the smallest things, and try sharing it with those around you. Exercise. When feeling negative about someone, find and acknowledge a positive trait in them. 5. Accepting and embracing differences. None of us are the same, and that's natural. According to Stoic philosophy, rather than wanting others to change to suit us, we should learn to accept differences and see them as opportunities for growth. Lesson from Marcus Aurelius. He wrote that the world is a collection of individuals with differing thoughts. This is natural and should not be changed. Instead, learn to adapt and show respect. Practice technique. When someone disagrees with you, try seeing it from their perspective and ask yourself, is there something I can learn from this viewpoint? Exercise. When facing differences, write down 2 or 3 things you can learn from them. Section 4. Conflict resolution, skills in Stoicism. 1. Using logic to resolve conflicts. Stoic philosophy emphasizes the importance of logic in analyzing and resolving conflicts. When faced with a conflict, instead of letting emotions dominate, a Stoic uses reason to find the root cause and the best way to handle the situation. Story of Marcus Aurelius. When facing political conflicts, Marcus Aurelius never acted out of anger, but always used reason to find solutions. He sought to understand his opponent's goals and analyze the logic behind each decision. Practice technique. When confronted with a contentious issue, try to look at it from different angles and ask yourself, what is the real issue here? Write down possible reasons for the conflict and analyze them objectively. 2. Learning to forgive and let go. In Stoicism, forgiveness is not about forgetting wrongdoings, but about letting go of the negative emotions associated with them. Forgiveness brings inner peace and resolves inner conflicts. Lesson from Epictetus. He emphasized that resentment only harms oneself. Instead of holding on to negative emotions, learn to let go and find peace. Practice technique. When feeling offended, ask yourself, is this really important enough to hold on to? Write down negative emotions on a piece of paper and then tear it up, symbolizing letting go. 3. Not taking conflict personally. In Stoic philosophy, conflict is not always about you. Learning to separate yourself from the issue helps you maintain composure and handle conflicts more effectively. Story of Seneca. When criticized for his philosophy, Seneca never took it personally, but saw it as an opportunity for reflection and improvement. Practice technique. When someone criticizes you, remind yourself that it's about the issue, not your personal value. Focus on resolving the conflict rather than defending your ego. 4. Facing conflict instead of avoiding it. Stoics believe that avoidance does not solve problems. Facing conflict and dealing with it calmly is the way to achieve harmony and progress in communication. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Never let fear prevent you from confronting what must be done." Practice technique. When a conflict arises, approach and discuss it instead of avoiding it. Focus on listening and asking questions to understand the issue better. Section 5. Cultivating speech and mindset through Stoicism. 1. Speaking with purpose and clarity. In Stoicism, words should be chosen with care and only spoken when they contribute value. Epictetus advised, first learn the meaning of what you say and then speak. Example from Epictetus. Epictetus often reminded his students to speak only when necessary and to make sure their words were wise and meaningful. Practice technique. Before saying something, pause and ask yourself, is this necessary? Will this help the conversation? Exercise. Limit your speaking in discussions to only what is essential. Practice active listening more than speaking. 2. Avoiding gossip and idle talk. Stoicism discourages unnecessary talk and gossip because it not only wastes time, but can also damage relationships and affect our mindset. Marcus Aurelius warned against becoming entangled in such trivialities. Lesson from Marcus Aurelius. He believed that idle talk leads to distractions that take us away from our goals and weaken our character. Practice technique. When you hear gossip, resist the temptation to join in. Remind yourself of the bigger picture and stay focused. Exercise. Each day, make a commitment to avoid gossip and observe how this affects your mood and relationships. 3. Replacing complaints with solutions. A true Stoic does not complain, but seeks solutions to problems. Complaining wastes time and reinforces negative thinking, while solutions bring progress. Lesson from Seneca. Seneca wrote that while life is full of difficulties, we should not waste time lamenting, but should use our energy to find ways forward. Practice technique. When facing challenges, instead of complaining, spend that time brainstorming solutions. Exercise. Create a list of challenges you encounter in a day and note a potential solution for each one. Fourth, practicing calmness in speech. Stoicism teaches that calmness is a strength. Maintaining composure when speaking helps convey confidence and respect, even in heated situations. Example of Marcus Aurelius. Despite being emperor, he always spoke gently and calmly, even during conflicts, to set an example for those around him. Practice technique. If you feel anger rising during a conversation, take a moment to pause, breathe deeply, and lower your voice before continuing. Exercise. Practice maintaining a calm tone in all conversations, even when discussing challenging topics. 5. Choosing words that uplift. Stoics believe that words can either build up or tear down. We should choose words that inspire, encourage, and create positive change. Lesson from Epictetus. He often reminded his students that words hold power and that they should be used to motivate and foster growth. Practice technique. Make a habit of acknowledging the good in others and expressing gratitude often. Exercise. Each day, make it a point to give a genuine compliment to someone and observe how it changes the atmosphere. Conclusion. In modern life, practicing Stoicism in speech and communication helps us not only improve our relationships, but also cultivate inner peace and strength. By applying these principles, we can communicate more effectively, build stronger bonds, and develop a resilient mindset that benefits both ourselves and those around us.
If you feel inspired by this story, please hit the like button to support us, share it with your friends, and leave a comment below with your thoughts or the Zen stories you want to hear next. Also, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next inspirational and peaceful moments. Your interactions are a source of encouragement for our journey. Thank you for accompanying us on the path of wisdom and enlightenment.